Some doors don't creak. Some doors don't slam. Some doors don't even look like doors at all. They wait in silence, in tile, in showers that never get dirty, in places that feel too quiet, too still, and far too clean. Tonight's tale takes us to Dagger Creek, a forgotten town with a forgotten building, and a boy who couldn't help but investigate the whispers of something impossibly clean in a place long abandoned. What he finds isn't just a shower, it's a gateway, a trap, a place that doesn't kill you, it simply remembers you. So light your candles, sip your tea, and listen close, because once you hear the name of the tile room, it might already be listening back. This is Stories, Fables, Ghostly Tales, and you're about to enter the tile room. Chapter 1. The Clean One. There's a hush that settles over Dagger Creek as the sun dips beneath the treetops. An empty, pressed silence, like the world is holding its breath for something to break. That hush rolls along the cracked sidewalks and seeps into the hollows of abandoned storefronts until the wind falters. Maybe it's the limestone quarry that closed decades ago, or the way the town's only stoplight hangs broken and yellowed. Whatever it is, walking through Dagger Creek in the late afternoon feels like intruding on a dream someone's trying and failing to wake from. Caleb Noren knew every inch of it, even the places we pretended didn't exist. He was 13, eyes too old for his face, and curiosity sharper than broken glass. Not a malicious sort of curiosity, more the kind that lit his veins on fire whenever something didn't make sense. Which leads us back to the old Stone Ridge Recreation Center, a blob of concrete and discarded memories on the south edge of town. The rec center had been closed for nearly 20 years. We didn't know why it shut. Some said the roof collapsed. Others claimed people just stopped going once the factory shut and the buses stopped running. All Caleb cared about was that it was undiscovered territory. The dare had come from that older kid, Mason Fletcher. Mason's family had moved away, but he had come back for the summer, sneering at everything in Dagger Creek like it was all rubbish. One afternoon, he told Caleb and his friends about a clean shower in the back of the rec center. Supposedly, you could reach in and feel the tile was perfect white, even though the rest of the place was rotting. It refused to get dirty. Mason said it was clean, like it was waiting. No one else talked much about it after the dare. Caleb listened. He had that notebook. Remember? Tiny handwriting, diagrams of ghost holes, scribbled legends. To whisper some legend was one thing, but to have a place that whispered back, that was something else entirely. It was late in August when he went. Sunshine dull and heavy, like a wound pressed under a bandage. Caleb grabbed his backpack, flashlight, pencils, that notebook, and slipped out the back door of his house. The air was thin and still. The rec center stood at the edge of town like a hulking memory. Windows boarded, paint peeled. A yawn of a gaping door, cracked at the hinges, smelled of rot and something older. If Caleb hesitated, he didn't show it. This wasn't about bravery. It was about what lay waiting, the unknown. Inside, everything was still. Dust motes hovered like sunned flies in the faded beams of an afternoon sun through crumbling skylights. Tiles cracked, paint rosemary thin. A name printed in blocks over the crumbling front desk. Stonebridge Rec Center, it read. Though half the letters had fallen off, the silence wasn't empty, it was thick. Caleb's flashlight carved a path through the shadows. Each step echoed, soft and late. He kept his breathing low, letting the beam drift as he searched through old locker rooms and offices that hadn't seen life in years. He sketched the layout in the margins of his notebook. Long corridors, blocked windows, odd angles that stopped his sense of direction cold. And then, in that back corner behind what looked like folding shower curtains, he found it. A single shower saw, its tiles dazzling white amid the rot, untouched by moss or mold, perfect and impossible. The floor was damp, but the tiling looked almost new, as if someone had scrubbed it yesterday. Beads of water clung to the grout, small, trembling droplets that caught the light and shone like cheap diamonds. Caleb knelt at the edge and peered into the drain. Something glinted there. He wiped his hand across the tile, then placed his foot inside the store. Lights bent. The dull fluorescent above him flickered for the fraction of a heartbeat, just long enough for the air to stretch into a note so quiet he felt it press into his ears. The silence locked down. The hum of the world behind him vanished. No engine noises, no cicadas, not even his own blood in his ears. Just a hush that swallowed breath. The walls pulsed, slow and deliberate. Tile seams widened almost imperceptibly, as though the room had been inhaling and was now letting loose, taking everything in. The store was elongated, stretching upward and behind him like rubber pulled by an unseen hand. Caleb stumbled. The flashlight dropped, but its beam followed him down a narrow corridor of the tiles that unfurled into darkness. The colors changed too, washed out white into something cold and blue, like bone moonlight. His knee hit tile firmly, knocking the air out of him, and he watched the light dim under his trembling hold. He tried to shout. Nothing. The tiles continued, endless expanse. His foot fell into a puddle of water that felt slick and cold, and not water at all. He flinched. The ceiling disappeared. There was no air, no ceiling, only the tiles. Walls and floor luminous, stretching. And he scrambled back, but backward was gone. So he stood there, breathing the blue air, staring at tile endless and blinking in the beam that was no longer his. And then the tunnel breathed. Chapter 2. Entry Log 1, The Tile C. This journal belongs to Caleb Norin. Location, unknown. Time, doesn't move here. Entry Log 1, Day 1, ? If you're reading this, then I either dropped it or I'm not around anymore. Maybe you're like me, drawn by curiosity, or foolish enough to follow the glint. Doesn't matter now. What matters is this. You're not in Dagger Creek anymore. You are in the Tile C. No, that's not its real name, I made that up, but it fits. The floor here is made of tile, like shower tiles, all white with faded blue trim. They stretch forever, forward, backward, sideways, up. I say up because there really isn't a ceiling, just more tiles going up and up into a dim grey mist. The light doesn't come from anywhere. There's no sun, no bulbs, but everything glows just enough for you to see where you're going, which isn't far because it shifts. The place moves. You'll walk in a straight line and wind up back where you started. Turn a corner and the wall you came from is gone. I thought it was a trick at first. I marked the tiles with a Sharpie, but after 5 minutes the marks faded, sucked into the surface like water. I left the sock behind as a marker, gone when I came back, like the place eats anything not bolted down. The air? Cold, stagnant, smells like cleaning fluid and skin. Not fresh skin, just something sour, old. I tried yelling. My voice comes out weird here, like underwater, but muffled and echoed like I'm shouting into a padded room. It dies fast. I don't think sound travels far here. You won't hear anything until it's already near you. I haven't seen anything alive yet, but I've heard things. Scraping, clicking, something dripping. Once I heard breathing. Heavy. Slow. Not mine. There are doors, no windows, just tile. But I did find a stall. Yeah, like a shower stall, just standing there in the middle of this endless tile sea, no walls around it, just the stall. The curtain was torn and fluttering even though there was no wind. Inside, there was water dripping from the shower head, and when I touched it, it wasn't water, it was thicker, cold, almost oily. Something moved inside the drain when I crouched down to look. I backed away at first. The stall was still there. I marked it with scratches on the tile, 4 deep cuts. So far, they haven't faded like the Sharpie. I walked for hours. My legs ache. I found another thing, a toothbrush, just lying there. Pink handle, bristles, still wet. That means someone else has been here recently. Or they never left. The scariest part so far, my watch stopped. It says 3:47 p.m. and hasn't changed. I tried my phone, dead. No signal, no time, just a black screen and my reflection looking paler than I remember. And my reflection? It moved wrong. Like there was a delay. I turned my head and it followed a second later. This place is wrong. But I'm staying calm. I need to. I need to think like a researcher, like a survivor. From now on, I'm going to write down everything. This journal is all I've got, and maybe it'll help me keep my mind together. Or maybe if someone else finds it, they'll know how to avoid the things I didn't. So, if you're here, keep moving. Don't touch the drains, don't trust the clean spots, they're bait. And if you see something that looks like a door, don't rush it. Wait. Watch. Doors here, watch back, you see. I'm going to try and find shelter, somewhere to rest. I haven't slept, but I feel the weight of something pressing down on me, like a migraine building behind the eyes. If I make it through the night, I'll write again. If I don't come looking for me. Caleb. Day 2, 3, time doesn't work quite here. Sleep barely helps, so entry log 2. I think it's night now, not because it's dark. There's no real day or night here, but because the glow is dimmer, the tile doesn't shine as much. My eyes feel heavier, and the walls are quieter. Except for the grout, it whispers. That's not a metaphor. I knelt down earlier to tie my shoe, and I swear I heard something coming from the cracks between the tiles. Not voices exactly. Not in any language. It sounded like someone chewing wet paper, breathing through their teeth, but soft and layered, as if the grout itself had lungs and secrets it was trying to tell me. I moved away fast, but I can still hear it now and then when I press my ear close to the floor. I don't do that often anymore. I think the more you listen, the more it notices you. I found a hallway, not like the tile sea. This was structured, tighter, narrower. The ceiling dipped and the tiles changed to a slick mint green. It felt like walking into an old hospital or maybe an institutional bathroom built for giants. Everything echoed, even my breath. That's where I saw him. Oh yes, him. I was turning a corner and saw something ahead. Shoulders, tall and hunched. A man, or the outline of one. Thin, dressed in something white and soaked. He didn't move, just stood with his back to me, facing a drain in the floor. At first I thought, help. Someone else made it. I took one step toward him, my foot slipped. The tile was slick, too clean, almost wet. That's when he twitched. Not turned, twitched. His head jerked to the left, like a puppet yanked by the wrong string. I froze, my breath caught in my chest, like I'd swallowed a rock. Then he bent forward, almost folding in half, and dropped to all fours. His limbs were wrong, long, uneven jointed, like they'd been reassembled after breaking. His back cracked when he moved, and his hands slapped against the tile, fingers too long and flat. Then he started crawling toward me. I ran. Didn't think, just ran back into the tile sea, not looking back. My shoes squealed on the floor. My chest felt like it was collapsing. Every few seconds I heard the sound behind me, wet palms slapping fast and hard like someone crawling on all fours with too many elbows. Eventually the sound faded. and I stopped in some wider corridor and waited for hours, afraid to move. So now I know. There are others, but they're not like me. Maybe they were once. Maybe he was. Now, I don't think there's anything left behind those eyes, if there are eyes at all. I'm writing this from inside a half-walled stall I found. It's the only place that feels remotely safe. 3 walls, 1 curtain, no drain. I checked 10 times. I'm starting to suspect the drains are the problem. They're like open mouths, entry points, eyes, or both. I've blocked this stall's opening with broken tiles I pried loose from the floor. I know it won't hold anything strong, it just makes me feel like I have walls again. Like a room. Like somewhere real. And I wrote down some new observations. The grout whispers only when I'm alone. If I hum or talk to myself, it stops. If I fall silent, it starts again. Mirrors here don't reflect correctly. I found a shard. My reflection blinked when I didn't. Some tiles are too clean. Avoid them. Stepping on one pulled something up from below. I didn't wait to see what. Also, if you're reading this, 1, don't trust figures in the distance. 2, never assume help is human. 3, avoid green-tiled corridors. They're worse than the white ones. And 4, if you hear breathing in sync with yours, it's not you. I'll sleep soon, or try. My legs ache, my thoughts are slipping. I repeated my name 17 times before I started writing, just to make sure I still remembered it. Caleb Norin. Caleb Norin. Caleb Norin. Norin? I'll write again if I wake up. If I don't, burn the journal. Don't bring it back to the surface. Caleb. Entry log number 7. Not sure which day. I've stopped guessing. The air never changes. Time here is a trap. Entry log 7. I met her near a black tiled pit. She called herself Mirror, and I think she used to be like me, human. Her voice still sounds like ours, raspy but whole, but she moves too quietly, too precisely, like someone who forgot how to walk loudly, or even to walk properly. Her skin's pale like uncorked clay. Her hair was probably red once, now it's the color of old dishwater. She found me crouched near the edge of a massive square pit lined in black tile. I was tossing a rock down to test its depth. Never heard it hit bottom. She just appeared at the corner, arms folded, watching like I was a bug she hadn't decided to squash.
You make too much noise.
I didn't speak right away. Her eyes didn't look entirely focused, like she was staring at me and through me. I asked her how long she'd been down here. Her answer chilled me worse than any monster I've run from so far.
Since the school burned.
That school fire happened in Dagger Creek in 1991. What the hell's going on here? I asked her how she survived. She shrugged, motioned to the bag slung over her back, stuffed with tile shards, cloth strips, wire, scavenged things.
You don't survive. You learn not to be noticed.
Mirror, as she told them, gave me a set of rules.
Never stay in one place longer than one sleep. The tile watches. It remembers. If a drain gurgles, leave immediately. Something is waking. Don't trust reflections. Ever. Even your own. The clean tiles are not safe. They're fresh bait. Someone else already died there. If you find someone who talks like a human, make them prove they bleed.
I haven't asked Mirror to prove it yet. I don't want to know. Not yet. She's been marking safe paths that change daily but always avoid the vents. She showed me a shortcut through a rust-colored corridor of shattered urinals, don't ask, and a ceiling with a crack wide enough to show something behind it. Not sky, just pulsing flesh, like the place is alive and hates being seen. That was yesterday, or what passes for it. I've slept only once since. Mirror stood watch, says she doesn't sleep anymore. Too many dreams, she muttered, before walking away and cutting tile shapes into the grout with her nails. I asked her if she ever found a way out. Her answer?
Only one door. It wants something in return.
I didn't ask what. I think, though, we're being followed. We heard it, no, felt it first. A dragging sound behind the walls, like stone scraping on bone. Mira stopped talking mid-sentence, eyes sharp, face pale.
There's a watcher. Close.
Move!
We ran. Through a hallway that smelled like boiled bleach and rot, past a row of hand dryers that flickered on with no power. I swear one of them whispered my name. We found another stall. Mira checked the ceiling, said watchers don't like open tops. I asked what they looked like. She said,
They don't have a shape. They take your fear and wear it.
We waited for an hour. I kept my hand over my mouth so I wouldn't breathe too loud. Entry note. I've started writing this journal differently now. Less for me, more for someone else in case I don't make it. If you're reading this, find Mira if she's still alive. Trust the old things. Tattered curtains, stained tiles, broken fixtures. The newer it looks, the closer it is to them. And if you hear water running in a place that should be dry, run and don't look back. I'll write more soon. Mira says there's a breach, something like a crack in the grout that might lead out, but it doesn't stay open long, and it always asks a price. She won't tell me what hers was. Yours truly, Caleb. Yeah, Caleb. Entry log 22. I stopped dreaming 3 sleeps ago. Either that or the dreams finally caught up to me. This journal isn't mine anymore. It belongs to whoever finds it next. The next unlucky bastard who gets curious or cocky or desperate enough to step into a place they shouldn't have. A place that remembers you. So here it is. The truth as I've gathered it. Bled for it. Watched others die for it. This is how to survive the below. Section 1. What this place is. The below isn't hell. Not in the biblical sense, it's worse. It's a system. A tiled labyrinth of infinite corridors, chambers, vents, and pits. Mimicking every grimy public restroom, an outdated facility you've ever half remembered. Imagine if every hospital basement, gas station bathroom, and gym locker room had a baby, and that baby was starving. This place is alive. It watches, it shifts, it learns from you. You're not just trapped in a space. You're being tested, or fed upon. I'm still not sure which. Section 2, the creatures.
1. The siphoned. Humanoid. Crawls. Broken joints and soft wailing. May whisper your name. Don't look at them directly. They're the ones who stayed too long. They remember being people. That's what makes them cruel. 2. Watchers. You don't see them. Not really. They're the breathing behind the walls, the voice in your drain. They follow patterns. Mira says they come at intervals, based on how long you've stayed in one section. Don't try to fight them. You can't. You hide. 3. Cleaners. Rare, fast, white-robed, smooth faces. They clean areas with long claws shaped like squeegees. They scrub blood away. Tile 2. Everything, including people. 4. The vents. Not creatures technically, but they're alive. Sometimes they open slowly, sometimes they gape like jaws. Always above you. Never walk under an open one.
Don't say I didn't warn you, Caleb.
Section 3, the rules that work. Write things down, memory slips fast. The tile eats names. Map with objects, not marks. I use torn shoelaces, paper scraps, and string. They last longer than ink. Water isn't water. If it drips and it's clear, leave it. If it's warm and smells like metal, run. Eat only what you brought. Nothing here is food, no matter how much it smells like it. When a door opens, wait. If it doesn't make a sound, don't trust it. Real exits groan, the fake ones whisper. Section 4, the survivor. Mira, still with me, sort of. She speaks less now, stares more. She's forgetting her name again. I keep reminding her. She tried to write it on her arm, but the ink moved. It crawled. She told me last night.
I think I gave it too much of myself, Caleb. It's starting to think like me.
She wants to find the breach, the one we saw last cycle, a long crack in the floor tiles. On the other side, there was movement, trees, a bench, a place that smelled like earth. We both know it's probably not real, but it might be real enough. The worst part, I started hearing my own voice in the silence, sometimes just behind me, other times from the drains. It says things I haven't said, things I'd never say. And worse, Mira said,
Caleb, I saw you walking just a corridor over. Was that you, Caleb? Or...
Same jacket, same journal, but my eyes were black and wide, and my smile did not stop. Needless to say, it wasn't me, but it might be if I stay. If you find this, remember these things. Don't trust what feels familiar. That's how it lures you in. Keep moving, but not in circles. Use objects to track where you've been. If someone offers you a way out, ask what they lost. If they're saying nothing, they're lying or already gone. This place has cracks in it. Cracks you can slip through, but they open when the below wants them to, and they close when it's full. Final note. I found a new journal, someone else's. Old leather cover, pages damp but readable. The entries start in 1978. The last line reads,
Shower stall wasn't the first door, only the easiest one to open.
I'll read more tomorrow, if there is one. Caleb. Yeah. Entry log 29. There are no more days. Time no longer flows, it collects. If you're reading this, you found the journal. Maybe it was under a tile, in a vent, stuffed in the corner of a dry store somewhere between here and nowhere. If you're reading this, you're already too close. I reached the breach. It's here. A jagged split in the corner of a floor I almost didn't walk across. It was behind a cracked porcelain sink that dripped every 5 seconds, like a heartbeat. Mira found it first. She stood near it for a long time, like she was trying to remember something important, something about before. I asked if she wanted to go through. She didn't speak, just handed me something. My name. Caleb. She wrote it down on a torn paper napkin, held it out, and when I took it, she stepped back. Then she turned and walked away. I haven't seen her since. The crack doesn't show much, just flickers. A sky, I think? A telephone pole, bark, a street lamp, faint sounds I haven't heard in forever, wind in trees, a car door slamming, the whir of a distant train. But it's faint, like listening to another world through someone else's ears. I think I could squeeze through. I think I have to. But this is where the trade happens. And I finally understand what Mira meant. The tile doesn't kill you, it wants a piece of you. Something true, something vital. When it has enough of your thoughts, your memories, your image, it doesn't need you anymore. You're not a threat. You're a vessel. And that's when it lets you go. But you don't come back the same. You leave your reflection behind, your echo, something that still walks the below and remembers your voice. So I'll go. I'll go and I'll leave this journal for the next one, the next brave, broken soul who comes looking for something strange and finds too much. I've written everything I know, everything I wish someone had told me. There are pages I've sewn into the back covers, maps, makeshift diagrams or patterns and loops. They won't save you, but they might delay the inevitable. And maybe that's enough. My final instructions. When you find the clean stall, close your eyes before stepping in. Speak your name 3 times once you arrive. Hold onto it. Never eat what you didn't bring. When you find the breach, ask yourself, what are you leaving behind? Because the tile doesn't open for free. It opens hungry. I'm going through now. If I return, you won't know me. If you see someone who looks like me, don't follow. Burn the journal, seal the drain, and for the love of whatever God still listens, don't listen to the grout. Caleb Noren. Last known entry. 2 weeks later in Dagger Creek, Illinois, a boy named Aaron Foster finds the Stone Bridge Rec Center during a dare. He laughs when he hears the stories, thinks it's all just mold and dust. He finds a clean shower stall. Something glints in the drain. He reaches. He steps in. The light dims. The tile remembers him. And with that, we close the journal on Caleb Noren's descent into what he came to know as the Below, the tile-lined labyrinth that transforms curiosity into survival in ways we can barely imagine. In parting, let's remember what lurks beneath the veneer of horror. Curiosity, once innocent, becomes our greatest adversary, a double-edged blade that opens doors better left closed. Dagger Creek's forgotten shower wasn't just a dare. It was an invitation to vanish. And isolation, it's not simply being alone. It's the slow unraveling of self. Caleb's identity frayed here. He wasn't just trapped in the Below, he was deconstructed piece by piece, until even his name turned into scratching on tile. Memory is not just fading, it's a battleground. As the tile consumes his recollections and reflections, Caleb's journal becomes his tether to reality, and by the end, a grim blueprint for the next soul who stumbles in. Flesh itself becomes a map of horror, twisted survivors, crawling echoes, people reassembled by the Below's design. Here, the body is territory conquered, reshaped by something unknowable. And what is this place really? Not a furnace of brimstone, but a system, cold, indifferent, designed to learn and adapt and swallow everything it touches without malice or mercy. And yet, some horror is cyclical. Caleb's journal doesn't end with freedom. Instead, the cycle begins anew, with another hand reaching for the glint in the drain. The terror doesn't end. It echoes again and again. So, dear listener, if you ever find yourself drawn to that abandoned building, that lonely bathroom, that gleam in the drain, remember Caleb's final words. Ask yourself, what will you leave behind? And before we close the lid on this strange journal, there's one more set of names that I must recall and share to be remembered, etched not in grout, but instead in gratitude. I want to thank my supporters, my Patreon supporters, in fact. A figure known to many as a guide, a watcher, a steady flame in the cold tile dark. My ode night tea titan, Matto Star. In the twisting corridors of the Below, the one to endure do so by finding the light others leave behind, Matto is one of those rare lights, the kind that hums softly in the vents when everything else goes silent, the kind that reminds us you're not alone in this maze. So from the endless echoes of this tale to the edge of the waking world, we raise our thanks to you, Matto Star. Your support helps make this journey possible, one survival guide at a time. May your tea stay warm, your nights stay curious, and your footsteps never fall on clean tiles ever. Thank you, my friend, and all-round awesome supporter of Tales. Have an amazing week ahead, mate. And may each tile know your name, Matto. And before the tiles seal and the echoes fade to silence, let's show a torchlit thank you to our fierce and faithful white tea warlords, each one a legend in their own strange domain. To Lezosaurus, the gym-loving juggernaut, they say in the Below, there's a broken locker room haunted by the sounds of someone still lifting. Oh yes, Leza doesn't skip leg day. Leza kicks through dimensional grout. Mate, have a fantastic gym sesh as always, and a brilliant week. Thank you so much for your support. To Maya, the Queen of Cats, whose whiskered army stalks the Below with elegance and claws that shimmer like moonlight on black tile. Every creature down here knows, cross a cat, well, you don't get 9 lives. Thank you so much for your support, Maya, and have yourself a wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much, mate. And to Sangeetha, the seer of all, who already read this thank you 3 timelines ago. The walls don't whisper when she walks past, they listen. Because the only thing scarier than a monster is someone who already knows where it's hiding. Your support helps carve the path through the dark. Thank you, Sangeetha, for supporting me in the way you do. Have yourself a kick-ass week ahead. And thank you to my White Tea Warlords and my legendary O-Night Tea Titan Matto Star for the colossal support. I also want to say my thank yous to my Earl Grey Enforcers and tiers thereafter. I am lucky to have Chad Warren, Divided by Zero, Juicebox Andy, Just Heather, Paige Kramer, Peter Raffaelli, Seductive Smiles, Jane Gumnick, and Michael Krupp. Absolutely wonderful to have your support. Thank you again to my patrons. Your belief in this eerie little corner of the internet makes each story possible. My eternal thank you. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and as always, don't listen to the whispers in the grout. This is your tale teller, signing off.
the drains. The tile remembers every name, every echo in its endless game. Step inside and you're already claimed. The tile remembers, it remembers your name. Thank you, legends, you light up the night. Thank you, supporters, you lift us so high.